Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, and welcome back to another video on Lord of the Rings Home. Today, we're here to talk about Elladan. Again, I know, but we're actually really going to be deep diving this because I think it's really important that people understand how broken that Elladan may be on release. I actually think he could come out to be the best character in the game, believe it or not. And I've had some time to think about this. I've had some more time to think about it, especially when comparing him to other characters. And I'm actually really excited for his release because A, he might be really broken, and B, I want to start building my elves some more. So if you're ready to go, everybody, then let's boil this down. And we're just going to start here really quick. I want to do a recap. Every video, I want to do a recap of where I'm sitting at with regards to my elves so that people can kind of follow along with what's going on. Now, I haven't really done a whole lot because I am hoarding a good chunk, and I'm waiting to just basically max out Elladan. I want to get Elladan up first, and I want to slide him into my arena, even as a standalone character. More about that a little bit later on. But here I am, as far as my my shard farming goes, in case you guys are interested. Leliel is almost at 4-star. Lomian hit 4-star today. And Elro here, of course, has been 5-star for a little while. And I hit 5-star in Naramiri. So the great news is that I can go back to farming Guild Chapter 4 and get a lot more purple ability material and gold as well. Because, you know, farming Chapter 2 kind of sucks. The drop rates on the purples are pretty bad. So it does go up quite a bit in Chapter 4. So once you've done farming your elves, if that's what you're doing, then I definitely recommend going back to Chapter 4 so that you can get more gold and purple ability materials. So that's what I'm kind of holding right now. I am holding light crystals as well in preparation of Elladan. So I do have 126 light crystals, and I don't think it's enough to go straight to I think I actually need about I want to say 200 total light crystals, I think, to max out a character. I think that's what it costs. I know it's like 20, 40, 60, 80. Yeah, that seems about right. That seems about like 200 light crystals, more or less, that I'm going to need to max out Elladan. But I should be able to take him to at least G7, and I should be able to take him to max level, I think. You know, I think I have enough gold and XP that I should be able to do that. We might even be able to take Elro here, actually, up to 52. Plus Elladan up to 52 or so, depending on what level I'm at when he comes out. So looking forward to that. It's going to be pretty exciting. Arwen is still a little bit on the backside. The reason why I want to kind of put Elro here up first is because when the Elrond event goes live, maybe Elro here will be able to carry a little bit of that as well, and same with my Elladan, because I do plan on buying the offers for him for 5-star, so perhaps I can get away with building the other characters a little bit less if my Elro here and Elladan are higher. So that's currently what's going on with me. Now, I want to talk about Elladan's kit again, and then I want to talk about him in comparison to some of the other characters. Now, there's something that's been confusing me, but I also want to point this out as well. Nothing to do with the basic. He has a decent basic with the weaken ability. I like that. But specifically the videos and the stuff related to this. Now, it's just very brief. It's a bit of an OCD thing that kind of bothers me. I think they kind of mixed up the first two videos, and I discussed this in my Discord with a few people as well. But if you look at the icon for the special and special 2, I think they have the wrong video animation here, because this shows him swiping the enemy, and then in the second one it shows him doing like a spear stomp and the enemies are flinching. But if you look at the actual icons for the skill, special ability, ancient skill, you can kind of see him running at the enemy. And then if you look at this one up here, I mean, it's not running at the enemy, that's for sure, like it's shown here. So I think that the videos are actually changed around. So I think this is special 2 and the other one is special. This is special 1. I think that's how it is. And this is the provoke here on the special 1. But what we're here to talk about is the actual kit and the description of this. I think this is going to be honestly bonkers for free-to-play and people who pay alike. Elladan is going to be one of the most broken characters to come from Lord of the Rings, and I'm not even kidding. So if we actually kind of break this down a little bit more, it's going to be really important when we get this part. So attack all enemies for 300% damage. I want to make sure that you guys are aware that that's a lot of damage. Now, we don't know what Elladan's damage stat is going to be. You know, we could suggest that, you know, he's going to be on par with Eothane, at least in damage stat, but we're going to take a look at some other characters that have AoE in terms of how this is going to scale. And then he gains 1 stamina for this ability per boon on self. Now, this is the broken part, and I have a feeling that this is probably going to, because you see that it's not the unlock, it's not the ability description at unlock, so it's going to be like either level 5 or level 6, probably. Because this is where the broken part comes in. I'm thinking it might be level 5, because my guess is level 6 is going to add that up to 300% damage. And then he gains 3 stacks to provoke, so that's a lot. He's going to be able to do this back to back to back to back a good chance. And actually provoke itself also, if I'm not mistaken, is a boon and is a positive effect that would count towards getting stamina back. Now this, because it's on a stamina cost of 4, and I think that you do get 1 on your turn. And I think what this really means is that you only need 3 boons, not 4 boons. At least that's how I think it is. And that's pretty easy to get for him. So there's quite a few ways that he gets a variety of different boons across the team, including Provoke, which if he still has this, or any Provokes when he gets back around to his turn, possibly, whether or not that happens or not, I don't know. But then also his passive, on turn, gain 1 stack of Nimble. So that means that he is going, at least at max anyways, that means he's going to have the Nimble before he uses his ability, which means he's always going to have at least that, if not Provoke. And then we have all sorts of other buffs. We have, sorry, I skipped it. Over here, we have Regeneration on his turn. If you get this part, gain 1 stack of Regeneration for 2 turns, that means it's going to apply, it's still going to be there when he does his Special 2 or Ultimate. You know, he's still going to have that regeneration. Grant Deadly, you know, that's possible. Actually, that might... No, that should still be there as well, if he uses that for his next turn, right? And so that's Regen, Deadly, Provoke, Nimble. That's 4 already. And there's the possibility of other characters, depending on who you're using him with. Now, if you're using some of your Rohan right now, there's other ways that you can get boons for him, including, most famously, Eowyn. A lot of people do use Eowyn currently, and her special is very good. Gives might to all squad members, or a lot of them anyways. You could upgrade this to 5 or just leave it at 4 or whatever. So there's a good chance that you could have might from Eowyn to Elladan as well. Which I'm actually considering, because I have her so highly built as it is, I'm considering doing some, you know, some messing about in the arena once Elladan comes out to see if we can maximize those boons every single turn. Eothane is another good example because he gives you counterattack on his ultimate, and it might not line up that well, but it might line up for like a second AoE for Elladan after Elladan's already done his AoE, so that he maintains those buffs, and he has quite a few of them going forward. And the other reason why I might consider using Eothane is obviously because I haven't built, but he's a tank, so that synergizes with Elro here when I slot him in, because anyone that's a tank that's getting hit, Elro here is going to retaliate. So quite strong there, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing these sort of like Elf Rohan combinations that provide boons for Elladan, and also in general triggering Elrohir's passive. So a lot of excitement here, and the other characters alone are going to give lots of boons to Elladan as well, including Arwen, of course. You know, on her passive, which is able to grant Nimble to them, and also, where's it here? This one here, you can get more regeneration, immunity possibly as well to Elladan, and defensive to Elladan maybe, you know, if he's the most wounded squad member. So many positive effects that he could potentially get that is just going to make him able to do this back to back to back. And I think that part is absolutely crazy. You know, sorry, I keep skipping it a bit here. 300% damage is nothing to scoff at. I want to make it very clear that that's actually a lot of damage. Now, unless his damage stat is absolute garbage, which I don't expect, you know, we could easily find that in Lord of the Rings.gg, you know, in terms of where the character's damage stats scale. But I want to put this into comparison to characters that do have AoEs, and especially characters that we're using quite commonly right now in the existing meta. So Eothane's Show of Strength, his ultimate, they call it Special 1, Special 2. I'm sorry, guys, I call it Ultimate because I'm from Marvel Strike Force, and that's just what I'm used to. You know, it differentiates the 2 attacks rather than saying Special 1, Special 2. I don't know why they did it this way, but anyways. Attack all enemies for 230% damage. So Eothane's does AoE of 230. Elladan's does 300. Let's take a look at Strider. Strider's ult does 200, and this is at max, of course. So it's going to be even stronger than Strider. We'll take a look at their stats as well after. And Ironhide, because like everyone uses Ironhide, so I have to bring this up. His special, the Swipe, this does 230%, which is the same as Eothane. Of course, Ironhide has a higher damage stat than Eothane, and he's slower, so that makes sense. And then his Rampage does 230 as well. Of course, this also goes up by 20% for each Mordor ally that's not max health. Most people don't use a Mordor team anyways, so you're typically going to get, you know, this kind of damage out of it. You know, so they're about the same on each turn. And Ironhide is kind of seen as one of the best AoE characters. He does a lot of AoE damage output. There's no contest on that one. But if Elladan, is able to spam this relatively every turn, whether it's in the arena or whether it's in the campaigns, this is going to be the most bonkers broken stuff that I have ever seen. Now, I do want to kind of look at their stats. Character stats over here. And kind of arrange this by damage. Now, we can kind of see here, I'm going to zoom in, try to zoom in a little bit here, that we can see kind of, now this is maxed out. I guess this is like 7-star, gear tier 8, level 61. Should be level 60, shouldn't it? Let's can you even get to 7? No, you can't get to 71. That's weird. 61, sorry. So anyways, it doesn't really matter. Arrange this by damage stat. So we have Gruhar the Brute, Troll Brute, basically, on the top here with Bolg, Eomer, Killy, Mauher. So yeah, they do have, these kind of characters do have higher raw damage. A lot of these characters are single targeters as well. So with the exception of Troll Brute, who does have that one AoE, everyone else is, for the most part, single target damage. Bolg, Eomer, Keely, Mauher, they're all single target characters in terms of their damage, except for Ironhide, who of course has a lot of AoE here. And then down, I just want to kind of compare this to, say, Eothane or Strider. So Strider's up here, he's pretty high. He's at the 2k damage stat range, but his ratios are only 200% on his AoE. Now, if we can find Eothane down here somewhere, he's here at 1725, so that's about a 15%, maybe 13% to 15% less than Strider for 230 AoE. And so if we would suggest, I know this is a big numbers thing, but you know, if we suggest that Elladan has on par the damage stat of Eothane, which I think is fair, then that 300% damage AoE is going to scale tremendously. You know, compared to even Strider's, who's at 200%, even though he has a higher damage stat. And even Ironhide, who his damage stat is about, where was it here? 2045. So all things considered, Ironhide actually is on par with Strider a little bit, but obviously Ironhide has better ratios. And between Eothane and Ironhide, it's only about a 15% difference. So the 300% on this is just going to wreck people's face. And this part with the 1 stamina is crazy. I think people are very they're discounting this, that they don't like. It's going to be really easy, I think, to get a lot of boons onto Elladan and for him to maintain this, and to even do 2 of them back to back. Whether or not you can get 3 or more, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I think that, assuming he's still alive and he's not dead because he's a tank. But for the AIs, especially when you're fighting against the AIs, this is going to be absolutely crazy, I think. And I really want to hype this up because I think Elladan is going to be an insane character for all types of players. Whether you're free to play or whether you're going to spend on Elladan, I think that even at the 3-star level, Elladan is going to be a must-have character to include on your team, whether it's for arena, whether it's for your light campaigns, whether it's for raids later down the road. I think he's going to be a must-build character, and I'm absolutely going to put everything that I can to maxing him out as soon as he comes out. And I hope, because we don't have an actual time frame on this one, I'm hoping that it's going to be on Thursday, even though we don't have anything in-game yet as of me recording this video. I hope that it does come out soon, because they're going to have to do a roster patch, I guess, right, to include him into the game, because he's not in the roster currently. So that's going to have to happen this week as well. And they even can be used often if the squad is able to grant many. They even mention it here, that you could, in fact, spam this, which is just absolutely crazy. Not to mention he's got all the other stuff, like the Ranger trait. He's going to be such a broken character, and I'm really looking forward to actually playing around with him, unlocking him, and upgrading him to max. And hopefully there's going to be some videos to come about me including him, especially with other characters in the game. You know, mixing her. This might actually be the one time where I push my arena a little bit more. I mix Elladan in, and I kind of use different characters in arrangement and see what works and what doesn't. I'm really looking forward to this. Actually, this is probably talking about Elladan is probably the most hyped that I have ever been right now currently in Lord of the Rings, as he's approaching hopefully soon. I really hope we get it this week and it doesn't get pushed back to the week after. But hey, we'll find out this week. And until next time, everyone, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later on the next Lord of the Rings home video. Boilon signing out.